Hi, good evening and welcome to Prime Business. My name is James. To our very first story this evening, the latest RMB Where to Invest in Africa Index has indicated that macroeconomic policy reforms and fiscal restructuring is helping Ghana attract investors. The report added that the International Monetary Fund extended credit facility and technical assistance by the World Bank are gradually correcting Ghana's path to attracting more investment. The following report has more.
According to South Africa-based RMB Where to Invest in Africa 2025-2026 report, the past year represented a cautious recovery for Ghana, with the government intent on reducing expenditure following ballooning spending by the previous administration. It urged that managing the cedi's volatility will be key to progress. The report recounted that consumer price inflation surged to over 37% in 2023, with a 5-year average of 22.8%, despite the Bank of Ghana charging one of the world's highest real interest rates. Food prices and currency depreciation fueled inflation, with the currency losing 19% of its value against the US dollar year on year at the close of 2024. The report said there is some light at the end of the tunnel for Ghana. It added that the Ghanaian economy is picking up, as the first performance of the first 6 months of 2025 was better than expected, with inflation falling and the cedi strengthening. Meanwhile, RMB is projecting a 4% economic growth for Ghana by 2028.
As part of government's zero-tariff deal with China, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has appealed to the government to consider scrapping tariffs on tools and machinery imported from China to boost local manufacturing. The call follows the recent release by the Ghana Statistical Service, which revealed that the economy grew by 5.5% in the third quarter of 2025, slower than the 7% recorded in the same period of 2024. President of the Chamber, Stefan Abbas-Miezan, emphasized the need to empower Ghana's industrial sector as a key driver of socio-economic development. He made these remarks at the India-Ghana Business Forum held in Accra.
GDP is the gross domestic produce of a country. And if it has slowed, it means that we are getting something wrong. Okay? And I think that we are touting ourselves with the fact that Gold Board is doing well and neglecting industry. And I want to keep emphasizing on that. So if GDP is going down, it means that there are areas that we are not doing well. So all this macroeconomic stability that we have gained will eventually be making nonsense out of it when we don't industrialize. So for me, we need to up our game to ensure that our gross domestic product goes up. And it can only be done when we go really into industry. So we admonish the government to look at that very much. I've taken certain opportunities to talk about that, the zero tariff that we have signed with China, and said that, look, that has to be concentrated on machinery and tools for industry. So if you are bringing in machinery and tools at zero tariff, it means that we are going to have more tools, more machinery for industrialization. And we have everything that it takes for a country like Ghana to be able to industrialize. Okay? So it is important that we support this agenda.
Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority has intensified its tax compliance drive in Accra, with its enforcement team conducting an announced visit to 5 companies, resulting in the partial sealing of Kitia Furniture and Decoration over EVAT system issues and other companies. There is more in this report.
The enforcement team of the Ghana Revenue Authority has carried out an operation to ensure tax compliance, visiting 5 companies in Accra. Kitia Furniture and Decoration, as Printex, was partially sealed over technical issues relating to the EVAT system, while the Chinese-owned Ivan Plastic Company Limited was invited for questioning over alleged selective issuance of VAT invoices. Assistant Commissioner in charge of the Accra Central Area Enforcement Unit, Joseph Ajekwe Annan, briefed the media after the exercise.
The first one we visited is Ivan Plastics at Abofu, Achimota. They are doing selective issuance. The place belongs to a Chinese. They sell plates, plastic plates. They claim they don't have records. And in such situations, we have to project. And please, if you think you can hide records, and for me, if I project, you go and bring the records. Because I'll project, the figures will so high that you'll not be able to pay. So then from there, we moved to Datalex Alajo. Now from there, we moved on to Inter-Africa. They are supposed to be on the EVAT. Apparently, they are not complying fully with the EVAT regulations. We moved on to Ketia, where we find ourselves now. They are also supposed to be on the EVAT, but they are telling us that there are some technical challenges. So they were not able to, and they are talking to the secretariat. But for me, I've always said that I'm an enforcer and I'm a man under instructions. So what I'm asked to do is what I do. I was asked to come and enforce. But due to their challenges, I have decided to do partial enforcement by doing partial seal-off. So if you look behind us, we have done partial seal-off.
He also dismissed claims that the GRA is deliberately targeting Ghanaian businesses.
Look at the number of local businesses we have in Ghana. So many. You understand? So if you are having to do percentages, realize that we are even doing more of the foreign than the local. I get my point. But you go to a place, maybe you have 1, 2 foreign, and you have maybe 20 Ghanaian businesses. Obviously, you pick up more Ghanaian business, just one foreign business. And then it will send that wrong perception that we are after our own. But then, you see, wrong is wrong and right is right. If you have the fourth foul of the law, you have fourth foul of the law. But then, this is just to say that we are trying to be as fair as we can.
This operation forms part of the GRA's intensified tax law enforcement effort aimed at strengthening compliance across the country.
Away from tax-related stories, now Ghana's private sector is being urged to take a more decisive role in the fight against corruption. This charge was made at the Private Enterprise Federation National Forum in collaboration with Good Governance Africa to mark the 2025 International Anti-Corruption Day. Here is more.
The Private Enterprise Federation National Forum themed enhancing the role of the private sector in fighting corruption through the promotion of governance and integrity served as a platform for experts and stakeholders to identify existing gaps and develop collaborative solutions to curb corruption in Ghana. The gathering brought together key players from the public and private sectors, civil society and academia to explore practical strategies that can enhance transparency and strengthen integrity across the country's business environment. Addressing journalists on the sidelines of the event, Chief Executive of the Private Enterprise Federation, Nana Osei Bonsu, underscored education as a critical tool in empowering businesses to recognize, resist, and report corrupt practices. He revealed that the Federation remains committed to rolling out continuous education campaigns nationwide to equip the business community with the knowledge required to uphold ethical standards.
The efforts of what we're doing is to educate the people to know that do not give in. Don't give in. Report to us. We will follow the trail, and we also engage with the highest levels of government and make them aware that this is what is being done to us. We are in private business in Ghana, but there are other countries that we are in competition with. Even now, as we speak, we hear of fronting Ghanaian businesses being pushed to front for foreign businesses. So the benefit is not coming to Ghanaian businesses, it's going elsewhere. By educating, holding these similar workshops, our Ghanaian businesses will be equipped to report to us, and then we will follow the trail to see that it doesn't continue.
Adding his voice, Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at the Center for Democratic Development, Dr. Kojo Pumpuni Asante emphasized the importance of strengthening institutional systems, particularly the independence of internal auditors. According to him, ensuring auditors operate without interference will significantly improve transparency, enhance accountability, and accelerate national anti-corruption efforts.
We need these preventative processes because the monies we are losing is just ridiculous. So if we say we are going to, the point is, how do we put all these structures in place and yet we don't want it to work? Almost everything that we have put in place to fight corruption, we want to undermine it. So we need to hold our political actors, our leaders, accountable. Let's make sure that they are independent, they are bringing it out, and that we are stopping people from wasting our money.
Stakeholders expressed optimism that sustained education, improved internal controls, and a unified national approach will drive meaningful progress in Ghana's fight against corruption.
Now, former Executive Secretary of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, Dr. Ishmael Aka, has stressed the importance of maintaining a delicate balance between regulatory decisions and political interest to guarantee fair cost recovery for utility providers while protecting consumers. At the launch of his co-authored book, Energy Regulation in Africa, with Dr. Charlie Gatete in Accra, Dr. Aka also highlighted the critical role of knowledge sharing across the continent in strengthening Africa's energy governance and improving the sector performance.
The newly launched book, Energy Regulations in Africa, Dynamics, Challenges and Opportunities, offers an in-depth examination of the continent's evolving energy landscape. It explores emerging technologies, shifting energy markets, and Africa's readiness for the energy transition, while underscoring the importance of cross-border electricity. Co-authors Dr. Ishmael Aka and Dr. Charlie Gatete emphasize the importance of reflective, transparent, and efficient regulation across Ghana and the wider African energy space.
We are doing better than in the 90s, but we are still not there yet. So what the book does is that it documents some of the successes we've chalked. It also highlights some of the challenges, especially the issue of the political economy, relationship between regulation and politics, and how you can balance individual interests and influence to ensure that utilities get a prudent cost recovery tariff, whilst at the same time protecting consumers and protecting their welfare.
Ghana is doing very well in terms of energy regulation. We've kind of giving this independency for the regulators, and also the policy and regulation framework that are very strong compared to other countries. And it's something that we highlight in the book and show that going beyond this comparison is to show to other countries the way to go and examine kind of benchmark that they can use, they can see, they can monitor, also learn from what Ghana is doing very well, and then try to do the same in their countries.
Former Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam urged government to prioritize investment in critical energy infrastructure to secure long-term stability and support industrial growth.
After several years of our leaders telling us that they would take Ghana out of an import-dependent economy into an export-led economy, we haven't achieved that because we really haven't planned well. And so the next phase of the development of our country should be about industrialization, should be about job creation, should be about creating wealth for our country. But we cannot achieve that if we don't provide the inputs that will push our industrialization agenda. And energy is number one infrastructure that we need to develop.
Also speaking at the event, former Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh called on sector stakeholders to uphold prudence, independence and professionalism in managing Ghana's energy resources.
That to governments, support your regulators with clarity, resources, respect. Independence must be real, not rhetorical. And please, don't indulge. To regulators, be fair, firm, transparent and courageous. Engage widely, innovate boldly, but remain grounded in local realities. To utilities and researchers, build on the insights in this book, deepen the evidence base and train the next generation of African regulatory leaders.
The launch attracted key players from across Ghana's energy sector, including policymakers, academics, and industry leaders, reaffirming the sector's growing interest in evidence-based reforms and regional collaboration.
Now, to the savings and loans space, Napier Bar Savings and Loans has reiterated its commitment to invest in the promotion of a clean and green sustainable environment and basic schools across the country after hosting the 2025 edition of the John Biden Awards in the Ashanti region. The program recognizes and motivates basic schools nationwide that demonstrate outstanding commitment to maintaining clean, green, and healthy learning environment. There is more in this report.
Peaceland School was crowned the most clean and green school, with Haji Royal School and Bright Beginning School securing second and third places respectively. The Jan Beider Awards commemorates a young German environmental advocate, Jan Beider, who was passionate about creating eco-friendly schools in underserved communities. The evaluation criteria included clean classrooms, proper waste disposal, hygienic toilet facilities, clean compounds, and hand-washing stations. The initiative was organized by Snapiaba Savings and Loans in partnership with Opportunity International Germany. Educational Director for Private Schools in the Echima Nwabija district of the Ashanti region, Lydia Asante Frimpong, stressed that fostering such environment in schools is a critical step toward broader climate sustainability.
The theme, A Clean and Green School, emphasized two vital aspects of the healthy learning environment. The clean school. The clean school is the one that prioritizes hygiene and sanitation, waste management, healthy awareness, disease prevention. Cleanliness reflects discipline and respect for itself, others, and environment as a whole.
Chief Programs Officer of Snapiaba Joyce Owusu-Dabo urged schools to persist in their efforts, linking daily practices to global fight against climate change.
Named after a visionary whose legacy continues to inspire OI Germany and Snapiaba, the Jan Beider Award reflects the core values that Snapiaba as an organization hold dear, which include empowerment, integrity, and sustainable development. Snapiaba, a savings and loan company, and also an NGO, Snapiaba Trust, currently have 44 branches, serving almost 600,000 clients across the country. One of the sectors Snapiaba serves in is education, supporting basic private schools to provide all-inclusive quality education, for which reason we are all gathered here today for this Jan Beider Award for clean, green, and sustainable environment.
Accepting the top award, Evans Nkrumah, proprietor for Peaceland School, thanked Snapiaba, noting that the recognition would further inspire the winning school to expand their environmental stewardship.
Now, Organon has reinforced its advocacy for women's health and sustainable reproductive care at the World Health Expo Leaders Summit in Accra. The expo was organized to explore solutions for the continent's healthcare future. Here is more.
The World Health Expo Leaders Summit, one of Africa's premium platforms for healthcare investment, innovation and collaboration, brought together heads of state, health ministers, global institutions and private sector leaders to explore sustainable solutions for the continent's healthcare future. Organon participated in a high-level panel on advancing women's health in Africa and hosted a multi-sectorial side session focused on sustainable financing for reproductive health. Speaking during the discussion, country lead for Africa Access Markets at Organon South Africa, Mogadi Mashishi, called for deeper multi-sectorial engagement in Ghana's healthcare system. She emphasized that healthcare delivery should not rest solely on government.
Health is not just the priority of the health industry, it's the priority of every single industry, because without health, unfortunately, there can't be productivity. So we need more stakeholders to be involved in that conversation. And also at ministerial level and government level, there's engagement to ensure that more than just the health minister is involved in that. There is the Minister of Finance involved, I think even agriculture, multiple, it's different from country to country. So again, it goes back to the government's intentions, but more importantly, driving for those partnerships.
She warned that without deliberate action to ensure equitable healthcare access, Africa risks missing its Agenda 2063 targets.
While we have the highest, youngest population, over 70%, right, are young people. And we have this audacious aspiration as Africa for Agenda 2063, which is the Africa we want. If we don't ensure that there is access, equitable access to health, then unfortunately we're not going to be able to achieve that.
Adding a national perspective, head of the procurement unit at Ghana's Ministry of Health, Evans Ofori-Chumberima, noted that Ghana has taken steps to reduce its dependency on external healthcare support by integrating reproductive health services into the National Health Insurance Scheme, an inclusion that was previously absent.
The data from 2024 indicated that UNFPA procured 40% of our national family planning requirements. The government of Ghana has taken various strategic measures to make sure we reduce this dependency rate. As we speak, the provision of reproductive health services is captured under our National Health Insurance Scheme, unlike before. So what this means is that once you go to any of the health facilities that are supposed to provide these services, and you have the National Health Insurance card, whatever service that will be provided will be free, and you won't pay anything.
Organon's engagement throughout the summit highlighted its growing commitment to embedding women's health as a central pillar in national development, health financing, and system reform conversations across the continent.
Now, with indigenous food fading from family tables and many young Ghanaians unable to prepare nutritious traditional meals, Grow West Africa and the Urumpo female farmers are leading a movement to reclaim taste, health and economic sovereignty, one organic harvest at a time. They held a local food festival with the hope of raising awareness about the relevance of local food to the Ghanaian economy. Anasabet has more.
Indigenous Ghanaian foods are slowly disappearing from our tables, replaced by imported alternatives. Many young Ghanaians now know more about cooking pasta than preparing ayoyo stew. This isn't just about taste, it is about nutrition, our economy and our cultural identity. This is the local organic food fair organized by Grow West Africa in collaboration with the Urumpo female farmers. It is a direct response to that growing disconnect. Their strategy: don't just tell people, show them, let them taste, see and learn. Olawumi Benedict is the executive director for Grow West Africa.
So now that they'll be able to come out with a lot of these dishes here, we are going to start encouraging them that in their houses, they should not limit the food to just banquetes and fufu and rice that they cook, but they should cook those nutritious food that they are showcased today.
The most crucial bridge is to build between generations. The knowledge of how to grow, select and prepare these foods is a living heritage. Events like this make that heritage accessible and exciting for the youth.
This is the food that is nutritious. They are very, very delicious. So we are going to plan it bigger next year to match the younger ones with the older ones, and then they will be fused into the cooking. And we believe that with this, it will revive this habit of eating our local dishes instead of the imported dish.
Kwame Afram-Dintra is the regional program director for ActionAid. He believes that this will help empower women as well as elevate them from poverty.
For us, what we believe is that if they have this idea of agroecology, they can process this and even save the land, the environment, as well as getting wholesome food for their families. And economically, it will also give them some finances to support their families.
The engine of this revival is Ghana's farmers, particularly women. This fair is a platform to connect them directly with consumers and experts from the Agric Directorate. Crops Officer at the Wenchi Municipal Agric Office, John Osejima, lauded the move and stressed that it will help revive our culture as well as improve our health.
I think when we go back to the community and educate our mothers and sisters who does the cooking, to go back and look into those old foods, local foods, I think it will help us in our health and then in our development as a country.
Olawumi is, however, hopeful that going forward, the younger generation will be involved in the cooking processes to help revive the eating of our local dishes, adding that the move will also help boost the local economy.
So when we import food, we use dollar. So it makes our cedi to depreciate because you have to keep exchanging. But if we grow the food here and consume the food that we grow here, the money stays in the system. The economy of Ghana will boost.
So what's on your plate? The choices we make daily at the market are more powerful than we think. They shape our health, determine where our money goes, and decide which traditions thrive. This fair is a vibrant snapshot of a growing movement, a call to feed Ghana, eat Ghana, and secure the future. It is a reminder that preserving our taste can be the very thing that nourishes our tomorrow. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Tichiman.
Now, Chief Director at the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Marian Kpakpa, says government is rolling out new innovations to support the aquaculture chambers and Blue Food Innovation Hub to drastically cut post-harvest losses in the aquaculture sector. According to her, the move is crucial to boosting local fish production and reducing Ghana's reliance on imports. She disclosed this at a validation workshop.
A validation workshop for the Blue Food Innovation Hub brought together industry players to review the draft strategy and governance framework designed to drive sustainable growth in Ghana's aquaculture industry. Stakeholders examined the draft document and proposed that the hub prioritize inclusive growth by working closely with fish farmers, offering targeted training, and promoting the use of adaptive technologies. Addressing participants, Chief Director at the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Marian Kpakpa, underscored the importance of embracing innovation to strengthen the aquaculture value chain and create a more resilient industry.
Today's gathering is more than a technical meeting. As our chairman said, it's a collaborative effort to drive innovation, investment, and inclusive growth in a sector that supports the millions of livelihoods and also underpins our national food security. And we think also that this Blue Foods Innovation Hub should be built on the principles of collaboration, sustainability, technology acceleration, and systems transformation.
Chairman of the Chamber of Aquaculture, Dr. Enim Somwa, added that the Blue Food Innovation Hub has the potential to transform the aquaculture sector and contribute significantly to Ghana's economic development.
This initiative to ensure that our blue economy is sustainable and is going to help us transform our economies. Over the past 4 months, the Chamber of Aquaculture, in collaboration with the World Economic Forum, the Boston Consulting Group, OLRI, has been actively engaging stakeholders across the blue food ecosystem.
The establishment of the Blue Food Innovation Hub is expected to serve as a catalyst for modernizing aquaculture practices, improving yields, and safeguarding livelihoods across the value chain.
And that's all for Prime Business with me, James Ish. And for more stories, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Up next is sports. Good evening.